Good to see you. Yes, yes, yes. Everybody's coming in. I tell you what, it's ticking away. I don't want to tell you how many Fridays you got to go before Christmas. But if you're those late shoppers out there, you better get them feet to moving. Anthony, don't procrastinate. Kidding. All right, the word for today as we go into it, and Andrea might tell you who the word is from, but it's rise. Rise. Move from a lower position to a higher one. Come or go up. Rise. I immediately think about sunrise, right? When I saw the word rise, I'm like, sunrise. The sun comes up. But do we really give it a lot of thought? You know, like think about this. The sun comes up, it's a new day. And really put in perspective today for me that the 24 hours I'm given, like, what am I going to do with it today? Am I going to take some time to complain? Probably so. Am I going to take some time to doubt? Probably so. Am I going to take some time to thrive, to actually build, to go create? Probably so. But what if I could start my day with the word rise? Just like the sun rose, my day just rose. What if I started the day and I was around the mindset of this day is an absolute present, a gift from God, a day that I won't get back. December the 16th, 2022 will never come again. What am I going to do with today? Am I going to complain about Arlene? I'm kidding, Arlene. Love you, Arlene. Am I going to get in an argument with somebody that I love? Am I going to not make that phone call that kind of scares me to make? Maybe that prospect I want to reach out to, but I don't. Like, is it really going to matter if I just go do it? Just do it. Because one thing's for certain, December the 16th, 2022, I'll never get back in my life. And if you put that perspective around the word rise, the sun rises and then it falls. And then if we're fortunate, it'll rise again. You know? So I think about, like, we've all been through, I always say this about good times and bad times and tough times. You're either going into a bad time, tough time, or you're in the middle of it right now, or you're coming out of it. But here's what's certain. We're going to go through things like that our entire life. But what if we started every day? What if I started my day with, I'm going to rise today. I'm going to rise and I'm going to make the most of this 24 hours. And if there's a prospect I want to call, I'm going to call them. What's the worst they're going to tell me? No? Not answer? If I want to call somebody and tell them I love them, I'm going to call somebody and tell them I love them. If I want to give somebody a hug, I'm going to give them a hug. Like, I'm going to take the 24 hours I'm given and I'm going to rise. And I just thought it was powerful, Andrea, that we have the ability to really walk around with the word rise in our mind all day long. So I challenge you to do it. I challenge you during the day to walk around with these 24 hours and go, man, what a gift from God I got. What am I going to do with it? So thanks for the word. Andrea, I'll turn it to you.
Well, that was a good one, Coach. And what a great perspective and what a great reminder, because we're sitting right here. Like, each of us are so blessed but sometimes I can get a little, well, maybe ungrateful for all the incredible blessings of just being here today. So thank you for that beautiful reminder. So the direction I went was how to rise after a fall. Right? We all have those moments where we stumble, maybe where we were pushed down, where we just had a tough moment. So how do we get back up? So the quote that I found that I loved is, difficulty calls us to rise up. And in that rising, we learn what we're capable of. And we've talked about that so many times that, in the pain comes the blessing. Through the trouble, we learn our strengths. So we got to learn to be grateful for some of the trouble. So first of all, first thing we can do is acceptance. So if we had a stumble, either through our own, maybe poor decisions or something that happened outside of us, loss of a job or whatever it may be, the first thing that we have to do is accept what happened. Next is we've got to ponder why. So if it, let's just pretend it's something that I think is completely out of my control. I lost a job, I got fired, or maybe just laid off, right? We'll ponder, maybe what was my role in that? And if, maybe I was completely innocent and it wasn't me, but maybe the fact that every day I was supposed to be there at 8 and I never got there before 8:10 played part of the decision-making process, right? So just see where possibly we can figure out why the failure happened. Next, though, don't beat yourself up. Accept it, learn the lesson, and move on, because those negative ruminating thoughts that we choose sometimes aren't going to get us to rise anywhere. Next, focus on nurturing and improving yourself. So sometimes we have to be a little tender with these hearts. When we have a failure, we have a difficulty, we have something going on, the first thing we got to do is kind of give ourselves that little hug and say, okay, you're going to be okay. And then work on improving. So we've kind of figured out what the problem was. And if it was that I am just always late, well, then I got to, figure out how I can improve my time management skills. Next, find that inspiration and support. So we're surrounded by amazing people. I look around here, just everybody with their cameras on. Everyone on here is a person of inspiration, and there's something that we can learn from them. So when we figure out what our weaknesses could be, go look around the room and see who has a strength where you need it, and use them as inspiration to go kind of get in their hip pocket, use them as support in order to learn and grow. Next, get a constructive approach. So if we figure out what kind of happened and take our responsibility, figure out what we can chip away at and be constructive in that thought process. So I can do A, B, and C. Next, and this can be a hard one, is stop the mulling, move on. And I can be guilty of this. I think about some things that some of us know that have happened throughout the last year. And I can, look at different things and documents or whatever, and I can mull and mull and mull. And it's just time to let that go, rise and move on. And then lastly, we've talked about this, but purge that negative voice in our head. So some of us have Debbie Downer or negative Nancy. No offense to any Debbies and Nancys on here. I can't think of a bully Brent. I don't know, a boy word or a boy name, but we all have somebody in our head that nitpicks at us and, can be a little bit doom and gloom. Let that negative thought go, work on replacing it and getting back to that positive rising state. Oh, and this word came from Melissa Carter on Facebook. So that was the inspiration. So thank you so much, Melissa. I greatly appreciate the input.
Andrew, a great lesson. Yeah, that was awesome. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back on Monday. Alan,
Happy Friday.
Safe out there.
God
Feel
bless you.
blue.
Thank you. Have a good
message.
weekend.
Thank
Great day.
Love you guys. Thank you.
See you weekend.
Thank you.
Everybody.